What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the LTQ Wrestling Podcast. I am BDJ. We got a new mic. We vibing. Going to be talking about a possible WrestleMania match WWE has planned between Rhea Ripley and Iyo Sky. Royal Rumble's 2 weeks away. Not the most hyped Royal Rumble. It's one of my favorite pay-per-views, but WWE has not really put a lot of effort into getting you excited for this pay-per-view. Sometimes having low expectations is a good thing. We'll see if that's the case with this year's Royal Rumble. We got Saturday night's main event next weekend to see who faces Drew McIntyre for the title during a fatal four-way. So that should be interesting. So a possible WrestleMania match, Rhea Ripley and Iyo Sky. Now, they're currently tag team champions. They've teased a little friction within the team, as they always do with every team, it seems like. And a report came out that it's the only women's match they see that could main event a WrestleMania. Now, I'm not necessarily going to disagree with that because there's not a lot of women's matches I think of right now outside of that. Maybe you could argue Belair and Jade Cargill, which maybe Bianca Belair comes back and wins the Rumble, and that's one of the main events. The story's there. I don't know if they see that as a main event, but I could see the argument for like, okay, Belair and Jade, the story, the rivalry, everything, that could main event. But Iyo Sky and Rhea Ripley, the two biggest women's stars on the Raw roster right now, you could potentially have one of them win the title, but I don't really see that happening. Stephanie Verkier is probably going to hold it till WrestleMania, depending on who she faces. Maybe Liv Morgan, maybe Tiffany Stratton, who knows there. But I mean, Rhea Ripley and Iyo, this tag team's cool, but it hasn't really been something I'm like, oh, yeah, this is awesome. You know what I mean? Like, WWE's always done a thing where they throw random people together as a team just because they need options for the tag team division. And they really have only feuded with the Kabuki Warriors. That feud just felt like it was never going to end. And it was funny hearing the other day about Triple H saying, oh, we don't want Cody and Roman happening again because audience fatigue. And it's like, audience fatigue, you do the same feuds anyways for 4, 5, 6 straight months. I mean, Aleister Black and Priest went on forever, and then the Kabuki Warriors and Iyo and Rhea went on forever. And, luckily it ended with them winning the tag titles. We move on, and they got some new competition. But again, they need something to do. And I don't see this tag team lasting very long. I don't see it being a long-term thing. Both of them are better as singles. And, I don't know who the heel would be in this match, but I do think there's money in this match because both of them have fans behind them. Both of them are going to get a big pop. The fans will be invested. They've had great matches before. I still think that match they had at WWE Evolution was a match of the year candidate that year. That match was spectacular. So I definitely see the appeal for WWE to go, you know what? Let's pull the trigger. Maybe they turn Iyo heel. I don't know if they do that, but, maybe they have Rhea be the babyface. There's a lot of different possibilities they could do in making it happen. I think they're going to have it where they're going to face a team for the tag titles. They might hold the tag titles maybe another 2-3 months. They don't have to rush it because WrestleMania is, 2-3 months away. They could do it maybe a month before WrestleMania, whatever. I think they're going to have them be in a tag team match. They're slowly going to start building even more friction between those two about maybe, Rhea wants in the matches more and Io's trying to show off or, whatever the case may be. They start getting into arguments. One of them starts getting very upset and eventually either just walks down the other one or turns on the other one. And that sets up your WrestleMania match. I think that's the direction they're going to go, and I would not hate that idea. Again, I don't think a women's world title needs to be involved for this match because I feel like WWE sometimes falls into the trap, and even some fans get in the mindset of thinking if a title isn't on the line, the match isn't important. And that's not always the case. And I feel like that's a bad mindset to have because if you have the right story and the right history and the match is great, the story's great, everything involving the feud or the rivalry is great, I know I just used that word many, many times there, then, the match can main event. We've seen it before. And it's all about building it up and getting the fans invested. And Rhea Ripley and Iyo Sky has everything you want in that. It's two big stars. They have a history. You can easily do a turn and go from there. And, we're going to have to see who faces the other women's champions. I do think on the Raw brand, since that's where Iyo and Rhea are, I think Stephanie Verkier, obviously she's battling an injury. There's been fans wanting Raquel Rodriguez to beat her for the title. I do think she's going to end up facing Liv. I just think that makes a lot of sense right now, that maybe Liv's the one who beats her. I don't really see Stephanie Verkier retaining the title at WrestleMania if they have her hold it that long. We'll have to see. But I do think that there's many options they can go with here. Jade hasn't defended the title once. I don't really think she's worthy right now. And it's not her fault. It's just the way WWE's booked her title reign. But she has also injured some opponents, so there's the criticism there. But I don't really think outside of Belair, she has any opponents that she can main event, against. So a lot of possibilities. we'll have to see. I mean, I'm not against the idea, but I do think in the end, WWE is going to go, if they do end up obviously going to main event, if they go with Roman and Punk, that's obviously going to main event night one. I mean, it has to. That's a big match. Obviously, you know, they might even main event night two. That's probably the biggest match you can get together. So that's going to be one of the main events. And if you do Cody and Drew, or Cody, Fatu, and Drew, you can make the argument that could be, you know, night one's main event. There's arguments for all cases, but I do think eventually WWE will have one of these two turn on each other. They always do that, especially when teams are just thrown together. You don't see it last very long. Could they bring back maybe the Iconics to be in the tag team division? Because, I mean, there's a lot of teams in the women's tag team division that could beat them. And I'm not saying the Iconics beat them. I'm just saying like a team they bring back. They're free agents right now. I did a short on that. Check it out. But they could maybe do something like that, bring them in. You know, maybe Soul and Zarya beat them. You know, they tease friction between those two. You know, there's a lot of possibilities for teams that could beat them, especially if you do like a turn. Because if you do a turn, then they don't have to, you know, just lose flat out clean. It could be a betrayal or a distraction or something like that. So hopefully WWE books it right, because sometimes they either wait too long to do something, or they just don't build it up correctly, or they just don't really build it up. Like, so hopefully they just get to a point where they're like, okay, now's the time to pull the trigger on this. We've had this team going on for a while. There's a team we trust to dethrone them. You know, the women's tag team titles have not really been booked that great over the last few years. I've never really been a fan of the titles just because I didn't feel like they had enough women's tag teams to really have a solid division. Like, even when they debuted the titles, it was like, okay, we have 2-3 women's tag teams. That's it. So hopefully they get a team they really trust to beat Rhea and Iyo, because those are two big stars. You know, you're not going to have them lose to just some random team that doesn't make any sense. I hope it's not the Kabuki Warriors. Please do not have to be there. I have nothing against Asuka and Kairi. I like them both. I think they're both fantastic in the ring. But we've seen it enough times. It's time to have somebody else win. They don't really get it's a shame too. They don't really get a big reaction because they're both fantastic. It's just, I feel like some wrestlers in WWE, the fans just can't really get behind because they just don't really have a character or a story. They're just kind of there. But I mean, yeah, Rhea and Iyo, big time money match, writes itself. If I was booking it, I would have Rhea be the heel, just because Iyo naturally comes across as a baby face. I think she was a little bit of a heel in NXT for a while, but Rhea's just like that badass that can just destroy everybody, and she'll still get cheered as a heel, but you can make her character as a heel. You know what I mean? So we'll have to see. Hopefully, you guys are looking forward to WrestleMania. I know it's not really been, you know, said what main events are going to be what yet. I know there's a lot of rumors going around, including this one, about what match is going to take place. Sometimes WWE puts out false reports. Dave Meltzer, you can never trust him when it comes to reporting. There's been the triple threat match. There's been Roman and Cody. There's been Roman and Punk. There's been Cody and Drew. A lot of different scenarios. Stephanie Vercure and Liv and Tiffany Stratton could potentially win the Rumble. There's a lot of different scenarios they can go with. So hopefully they make the right decision. I just hope WrestleMania lives up, because there's been a lot of matches that I was really looking forward to, and it's just one of them cases where sometimes they just don't really get a lot of time, or they just don't really end the way you hope. Like the Uso versus Uso match, for example. Had a lot of hope for that. Didn't really live up. So hopefully this match lives up, and, you know, just have a good wrestling match. Both these women are fantastic workers. They've had a history, like I said, of having fantastic matches, especially at Evolution. If it's built up right, I could see it main eventing. We'll see. Make sure to comment your thoughts down below. Do you think Rhea and Iyo should main event WrestleMania? Do you think it's a main event over Cody's match, Roman's match? Do you feel like there's other women in the company who deserve the main event? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe for more LTQ Wrestling Podcast content. As always, appreciate the support. Make sure to check out my gaming channel, BDJGaming. I have been uploading a lot more to that channel recently, some NBA 2K content. If you guys really like gaming, check that out. Also, catch QJ on his channel, QJBGaming. Peace.